Padres have sent out some big updates. The master plan for Yu Darvish's potential return is becoming more clear. Let's talk about what that means for the Padres, what that means for Darvish, what that means for the rotation, and everything else with the red-hot Padres in 2025. What's going on, everybody? I'm Christian Pedersen, back with another episode of Padres Digest. Thank you very much for tuning in. This is the one part of the show where I got to interrupt and do the obligatory YouTube thing of saying, can you hit the subscribe button? It would be much appreciated. All right, let's talk about this man right here, Yu Darvish. I think that we can all agree that while we are stoked about how the Padres are doing this season, that it would be a lot better if we had Yu Darvish. I don't think there's any arguing with that. We would be better. Yu Darvish, though, with some injuries to his elbows, a little pain, little inflammation, little whatever you want to call it, he has not pitched this season. He had very little spring training even. We just haven't seen much of him even going back to last year. He had to leave with some family issues. So Yu Darvish is not done being a Padre. Just has been a minute since he has been our ace on the mound. We got some of the latest coming out, though, that Darvish is throwing again. You can see here that according to Kevin Acee, Darvish is nowhere near fully back. So the short term here, the immediate quick answer to what's the latest update. The latest update is that the process has begun. Right here, you say no sooner than mid-May. We're recording this in mid-April. That's like a 30-day thing. You say, Christian, that could be pretty close. That sounds like that's not that bad. What are we talking about here? I think, though, if you dig a little bit deeper into some of these quotes, these are from A.J. Preller in the article that Kevin Acee wrote, talking about how less is more. The World Series isn't played here in April or May. The team is treating these games importantly. This, though, is this one's the core of the quote takeaway here, that at times less is more for Yusan. And then they go on to talk about his October credentials. He is a guy, and drop a comment if you agree, disagree, or think completely otherwise. He is a guy that, for my breakdown of how this Padres team works, obviously we're enjoying the great start right now, but he is a guy that if you bring him back, and then he gets injured again, and then you bring him back, and then he gets injured again, you're going to see diminishing returns. He is older. He has been a workhorse for very many years, and even Tom Brady got somewhat caught by father time. So assuming that Yu Darvish does not do the TB12 method, he's going to age naturally like all pitchers do. And what the Padres, I think, at the core really do need him for, it's like AJ Preller was saying, that we need him in October. Show you the numbers for Darvish. Top numbers are last season, where I said, again, he didn't have a full-time year, and bottom numbers are his career, where it's just to prove, for those of you that maybe have only heard of him and not dug deep into the numbers, he is an ace. He is a very, very good pitcher. Right now, the question, and we had this asked on one of the more recent videos, is, who does he come back for? Whose spot does he grab on this team? If he comes up, who goes down? I think we think less of that right now. And if it was really up to me to just say, hey, guys, be rational about this, I would say we think about him as almost being a September call-up. Obviously, the Padres' fate and fortune can change very rapidly. We can have, I'd knock on all of the wood here, knock on the studio wood paneling, but we can have injuries. We can have losing streaks. We can have PEDs, there are no end to the list of potentially bad things that can happen to the Padres. So I am not saying that they're locked in. This 25-man roster is perfect. And then once we get to September, adding Darvish is just going to be the icing on the cake. There's going to be ebbs and flows. But I think right now you ask yourself, is Yu Darvish needed for a short-term push? No. The Padres, I think, have a pretty good Cease King up here with Pivetta and Hart showing that they can be the 3-4. And then the 5 spot is a little questionable. We've seen a Randy Vasquez start or two that's been kind of nice. We've seen other guys. You can go check out all the videos that we have on those, where I remind you again to subscribe. But I think it's less thinking about how does Darvish fix a current thing and more thinking about, like, the longer the Padres can go without even needing to rush the recovery process, the better it is to say, okay, look, come back in August, September, something like that, when you are really ready to give 5 of the best final starts that you have left in your life through the regular season, and then be our absolute ace in the hole in the playoffs. Because if you hand him the ball in the playoffs, if he's healthy enough, he's going to give you a quality start. And then you start talking about, instead of like, oh, who does he come in for or who does he replace or anything like that, it's just then that's when he's the icing on the cake, is when you can say, hey, the Padres got through 130 games this season without him. Now we just are adding him back to gear up for a deeper run. So I don't even think, look, this is good news. All of this is good news. Yu Darvish coming back where he's got to throw simulated games. He's probably got to go to the minor leagues for a little tune-up here or there. He's got to get the bullpens, the mounds, there's so many steps right now between here and him returning that it's still far off, but the ultimate update is that the process is beginning. And according to Yu Darvish, he is feeling good. It's through a translator and through a guy that doesn't talk a ton publicly, so he's going to send out confidence-inspiring messages as one of the team's veteran anchors. But I think that he's also has nothing to gain by being unrealistic and saying, oh, I'm going to sprint back. I'll be back. I'll see you guys in 42 days. No, he can say, hey, look, I'm feeling good. I know that the team is also doing good, and I'm going to take my time on this. So the update is for me, it's twofold. It's one, we are at the very minimum 30 days from this video recording away from seeing Yu Darvish. I think we are more like 60 days plus from seeing Yu Darvish, but I think that is low-key a good thing. Based off of how the Padres are doing right now, why mess with it? Why mess with it? Let's let that 5 spot turn into a little bit of a competition for whoever is going to rise up. That we, instead of thinking like who gets sent down, it's like we find somebody who then we can put in the bullpen come stretch and playoff time. That's where my mindset is. But drop a comment. Let me know what you think. Let me know, do you think Yu's coming back this season? Do you think Yu's not coming back this season? Do you think he needs to be back in mid-May? Do you think we need him in June? Do you think we need a June, July? Does he need to be back by the All-Star break to make sure the wheels don't fall off? Or do you think that, hey, let's just rest him and turn him into a long reliever or a spot guy or something? Maybe you got some crazy baseball ideas like that. Drop it in the comment section. Let me know what you think. And until then, keep the faith, Padres fans. The season is going well, and this is only more good news. Talk to you soon.